Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Toilets to Titles into our review of the 2022 draft class for each team. Today or tonight, we're doing the Green Bay Packers, and I have with me to review that excellent franchise in their recent draft class is Nate, is at Nate underscore Dirt 19. Mr. Nate, how are you, good sir?
Doing well. I'm excited to be here. I love talking about the draft.
You got
And
it.
I feel like it's been a little while since I was on a couple weeks ago, I guess for a I don't even remember. IDP. No, what we do? I don't even remember what it was. Doesn't matter.
I did.
But
Yep.
I don't know. Anyways, I'm happy to be here. Excited. I think last year we did this. We did it at like 5 a.m. my time. So
Yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
this this worked out for both of us doing it at nighttime.
Oh,
So
totally, man. I like to squeeze these in whenever I can. So
yeah.
now this is awesome. We're doing the exact opposite. It's kind of a little late at night and everything. We're gonna set it for release at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Give everyone something to listen to on their way to work. So
Yes.
it'll be great. So all right. Before we get into the content real quick, let's get the bells and whistles out of the way. Don't forget to hit that like button. Give us that 5-star Apple review if you can. We greatly appreciate it. It really helps us out a lot. Where you can follow the show, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Podbean, Spotify, Facebook, where we have a few Facebook pages. Obviously, one is Toilets to Titles. The other is called When a Family Breaks, which is our Facebook page dedicated to the trading of sports memorabilia, which I'm a huge fan of myself. And if you go to patreon.com/toilets to titles, you can learn how you can further support the show, and we have our own kick-ass website. Toiletstotitles.com is what it's called, surprisingly. And it's got all of our content, videos, articles, whether you like fantasy football, which we're mostly geared to, fantasy football, NFL, NCAA football, and draft content. Check it out. I am so proud of that website. I absolutely love it. And now we're going to dive into the content. Green Bay Packers, 11 picks. I was joking with Nate earlier that it's like you guys are turning into the Ravens by accumulating all these picks. But you were top heavy. You had a good slew of draft picks in the early part of the draft, and then you had a bunch of ones in the later part of the draft as well. Coming into this draft as a huge, big time Green Bay Packers fan, what was your primary want in this draft? Early in the draft, first round, second round.
It was tough because, of course, need a receiver, need a receiver. That's what they've been saying for years.
Aaron Rodgers too wants receivers.
Yeah, and I do too. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
everybody wants the Justin
Justin.
Jefferson, Jamar Chase. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
that. You see how these guys are. They're catching lightning in a bottle, and it's like, oh, hey, let's get one of those. And
Yep.
that would have been great. To be honest, I wanted Daxton Hill really, really bad at 22. I
Love that guy.
I got it. He's probably one of my favorite players in the whole draft.
Yep.
And he was there, of course, and we'll talk about who he took, whatever. But I was fine with whatever, to be honest with you. I didn't expect him to take a receiver in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
I did not want to sell the farm and move up for a guy.
Nope. I agree.
And I think they had 6 first-round grades on receivers, and they were all gone by the 14th pick or something like that.
I wasn't surprised at all because
Mm.
given the way the contracts were doled out this year to the wide receivers, and also the trades that occurred too, I wasn't surprised that wide receivers were flying off the board in the top half of the first round, and they did fly. And your reference earlier too, who was it that did trade up? I think it was Saints traded up for Olave, which I like Olave, but I was really surprised by that move. So
Yeah, I
I
was
agree with you. I wouldn't do that either.
no, and the only thing that I was with my friend when it happened, and it was like when the Eagles traded for AJ Brown, it was like, what? Why? Why didn't we do that?
Right,
Like,
right, right.
and I know he's going to get paid a bunch, and they may not want to do that, and that's all good and fine. And AJ Brown's had some injury concerns.
Yeah,
He's got a knee issue that really it does bother me. I love AJ
yeah.
Brown,
Me
but
too.
it's concerning. I think he's had
Yeah,
a couple scopes done, maybe, and
yeah.
maybe one surgery or something.
I'm
But
unsure, but he's missed time pretty much like every single year, and it really
three,
burned me
four
last
games or
year in
something.
fantasy. So
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of his, or at least I was, and now he just scares the crap out of me with all of his constant injuries.
Yeah, I mean, I think I think Jalen Hurts stinks. So I mean, he can't throw the football. So having two stud wide receivers isn't really going to do much for you, and the guy can't. If you're
Yeah,
down in the third or fourth quarter, he's not going to make a comeback with his arm. So that's what
yeah. I think that
Gardner
was
Minshew's for.
I think they gave up like a pick in the teens anyway to get AJ Brown.
Yeah.
That's where the Eagles had all their picks. They were like all in the teens.
17 or
like,
something maybe.
Yeah, like 16, 18, 19,
17.
something
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
what it was. You're right. You're right.
Yeah. But with the Packers, yeah, man, like those like the cream of the crop wide receivers, like the glaringly obvious first round picks, in my opinion, were gone by the time the guys were picking. But what did you get? This isn't the Packers that that our parents grew up with, or that Aaron Rodgers had for the vast majority of his career. This is the new look Packers who believe in defense, and they've been stocking up on defensive players for the past few years. And you double down in the first round on defense with two Georgia studs, and I liked it a lot. First round pick, Quay Walker, inside linebacker, Georgia. The notes I had him in are, well, first of all, he's got nice size, 6'4",
So
241
fast.
pounds. Yeah, fast dude.
I didn't realize how fast he was, but like I knew he was a big dude, and I see how fast he was, and I'm just like, holy smokes!
I know
mean,
for
that
an
dude
inside
moves.
for an inside linebacker, 4.52, 40-yard. That's really good.
Yeah.
That's really good. Even some wide receivers, you'll take that, depending upon their other traits. And for a linebacker, that's really good. This guy's got, in my opinion, and I mean, I think it's the opinion of many people that this guy's got like leader of the defense in his future. Obviously play caller on the defensive side of the ball. This guy was part of an excellent defense down at Georgia that just kicked everyone's butt this year. He's a really good tackler. What he's known for is being instinctive, quick recognition, response, he's recognizing the plays early on, and he's getting to the holes. He's a finisher. He's a good tackler. He's what you want in the middle of the field. Apparently, just an outstanding character person too, and a really good special teams player as well. So,
Yeah.
what were your thoughts on Quay Walker when he was first drafted, and even afterwards? Your thoughts?
First drafted, you're like, okay, like I told you, I didn't expect it to be a receiver, especially at that point in the draft. And it was kind of like, all right, I'm liking the Georgia players. I love Eric Stokes. Our first round pick from last year.
Yeah.
I don't know if Kirby Smart and Matt LaFleur are buddies now or something. I mean, I'm cool with that, whatever. I mean, but I guess that was the first. We haven't had an off-ball linebacker drafted in the first round since 2005 when we picked AJ Hawk, number 5, I think he was.
Yeah, he was high.
That turned out to be a very good pick. I think that Walker will be he's going to start day one. Him and Devonte Campbell, I think, are very, very, very good complementary pieces. Campbell's a phenomenal in pass coverage, and Quay Walker, I think, kind of lacks that a little bit, but I think he has the traits to learn it without a doubt.
Yeah,
and I think
he's got the speed.
Yeah, I think Campbell can help him with that. And so I said I was after the more I kind of read into it and kind of studied a little more. Very, very happy with it. I think it's going to work out.
Absolutely. I mean, there were like 2 other linebackers. He was one of the big 3. And I'm brain farting on the names right now, but there were 2 of the linebackers that, and the guy who fell to the 3rd round of the Eagles, Nakobe Dean was another one, another Georgia product. Yeah. And that 3 guys that could have won the first round. Quay Walker was the first one. And it's funny because I remember leading up to the draft, I started seeing more and more lines of thinking out there, like in reports and articles, that Quay Walker could be the first linebacker off the board. And I'm like, oh, that's really interesting. I hadn't really thought of it, but it also made sense to me as well. Like, you need a good inside linebacker to basically captain that defense, and that's what Quay Walker is. And he's coming in as an automatic run stuffer, really, right off the bat.
Was Chad Moon the other linebacker you're thinking of?
No. Who was the guy from Utah? Utah.
Oh, yeah.
No, I think one was like, that's it, Devin Lloyd. That's what I was thinking of, Devin Lloyd, right? So it's basically Lloyd, Walker, and Dean, and then we found out later that Dean had even more injuries than, apparently, allegedly more injuries than we even knew about going into the draft. And but Quay Walker was one of those, possible first-round picks for a linebacker. I thought it was good, and I really like the pick a lot, and I think you got a stud. And I think you're just adding this defense. It's turning out to be really talented, and it's funny with Georgia because this was like, I'm a Giants fan myself, and for years, at least over the past 4 years, every single draft, you can go into each draft asking who are the Giants going to take from Georgia, because they always took a bulldog, always, at least one bulldog, always. And I guess Green Bay may have that connection with Kirby Smart as well.
I'm fine with
So
it.
no complaints. Kirby Smart runs a
No.
great program, as we
Yeah.
can tell. So,
Yeah.
and speaking of Georgia,
Yeah.
you guys doubled down. First round, these two guys must be loving it. They get to continue to play with each other. You get a monster at defensive tackle. I love it. I love monsters on the lines, and that's kind of a theme in this draft class too. You guys added some, talent to, the line on the defense and also linebacker as well, and the offensive side of the offensive line, which we're going to see in a little bit. But you got Devonte Walker, who is this is actually a really, really deep defensive tackle draft. I think in most years this guy would have went even higher, would have been like possibly the first defensive tackle taken in the draft, but it was a very, very deep draft. Uh, Georgia, 6'3", 304 pounds. Now he's not the biggest defensive tackle in the world, but this guy is really, really strong. And normally I will not put a 40-yard dash in for a defensive tackle, but I saw 4.77, and I was really impressed with that. I think it's rare you're going to see a defensive tackle, break anything like under a 4.9. So I was just really impressed with that. I had to put it in. It's indicative of the type of speed he has. Obviously, you're on the line. It's not like you're going to be doing a 40-yard dash, but I still found it to be impressive. In last year's final year at Georgia, 39 tackles, 7 tackles for loss, and 2.5 sacks. Now, this guy, those numbers might not sound like mind blowing at all. This guy played on an extremely deep defensive line. These guys were being rotated in and out, so it wasn't like he had to play like 90 snaps a game. So this guy actually had really good production for the amount of time that he was in. He's got known for his lateral quickness. This guy can jump from gap to gap. He's a quick big man. He is known to be a penetrator and a disruptor. He's getting behind the line of scrimmage to disrupt the passing game. Got a little ability to get to the quarterback. He's known for his motor and hustle. It's kind of like nonstop. So I love hearing that in any player. But you get a big man who's doing that. That's nice. Yeah. That's nice.
Yeah, I was pumped. Obviously, Jordan Davis would have been fun. Kind of worrisome that they kind of made it sound like he was taking plays off. But I mean, a guy that big, that's that powerful, you just ask him like, "Hey, what's it going to take for you to play every down?" Like we're going to figure this out and make it work. But anyways,
yeah.
It sounds like Devonte Wyatt. Like you said, high motor.
Oh, I said Walker. Oh, I had Walker in there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, your picture says Wyatt. It's fine.
Yeah.
But just a big dude. He's a 3 tech, 5 tech. He can play both, so he's pretty versatile. I like that a lot. And like you said, he's quick, and he'll be a welcomed addition. With Kenny Clark, TJ Slayton kind of struggled, but we've always had issues, with the center of our defensive line. So,
yeah,
a welcomed addition, and I think another guy that can definitely contribute from the bat. And maybe not quite as big of a role as Quay Walker will play, but I think he's going to get meaningful snaps. And you got to have a lot of guys that can rotate too. The big boys get tired, and like I said, I think he's going to be a good one though.
Yeah, I think he's going to be great, and it's like I know people have right to be concerned in terms of Devonte Adams being traded from the team and maybe a lack of depth at the wide receiver position, but the team's also adding to their, besides having a really great run game and having a good offensive line, they're building a better and better defense, which is going to help keep games closer, get Aaron Rodgers and his offense the ball back as well. So I love it. I like it. And just the talent they've been adding for the past few years on the defensive side of the ball, I'm really, really impressed with. Your secondary is impressive. And now you just added a really nice inside linebacker and a nice defensive tackle, shoring up the middle of that defense. I really like it a lot. But speaking of wide receiver, you took a good one in the second round. In the middle of the top end of the second round, you took Christian Walker, wide receiver, North Dakota State, 6'4", 208 pounds. Really, really nice size. The guy's 40-yard dash was a 4.36. He's got like all the traits you can't teach. He's got the size, he's got the speed, and he's got the length. And it's funny, he actually, he was a consistent stud in his conference. He scored a bunch of touchdowns. And as a wide receiver in the return game as well, he actually played, at least in North Dakota, he was used in the running game. I don't know if Green Bay will be doing that, but I wouldn't be surprised at all. And he's a really good returner as well. So this guy has a boatload of upside. And this is a guy after like those top 5 or 6 were gone. Uh, this is the guy I definitely had my eye on. And I assume you were pumped when they got him in the second round. I thought it was really, really nice value.
Yeah, I was. I think, when we were doing all those mock drafts, prior to, on Wednesday nights, I think there was
Yeah.
quite a few I mocked him to. Obviously, Drake London was my guy
Yeah.
that I wanted really bad, but
Right. Right.
you know,
He was never going to fall.
no.
And
Well,
yeah, that was never going to happen. Yep.
the Falcons are all about taking back-to-back wide receivers in the first round and not having an offensive line or defensive line, so it's fine, makes sense.
Yep.
Anyways, yeah, very excited.
Even if the Falcons didn't take him, he wasn't falling much further.
Not a chance. Not a chance.
Yeah, he wasn't.
I'm excited to see. I don't expect. Like I said earlier, the Jamar Chase, Justin Jeff. I don't expect that first year. I think there'll be some. I don't know if you want to call it growing pains or not.
Yeah.
Like you said, he's got the skills and some traits that you can't teach somebody. He's a monster. He's extremely fast. And so that is, like I said, you can't teach that stuff. And so I look for him to do well and just be a key piece for us down the road. But I was excited to get a guy like this. When they traded up, I was like, I think of George Pickens, which I'd have been fine with too. But yeah, I like Watson, and I think it's going to be fun to watch him grow. So
there were a slew of really good wide receivers in that second round. That's why I wasn't surprised that that you guys waited to the second round to take a wide receiver, because there were still a slew of good ones. Whether it was Christian Watson, George Pickens, Sky Moore is another one who the Chiefs took. So, and that's kind of like a big debate in my mind too. And it's been like a good question that's been bandied about. Like, who do you think is going to have like a better rookie season? Like, Patrick Mahomes and Sky Moore. I should say Sky Moore, Patrick Mahomes, or Christian Watson with Aaron Rodgers. And because they're both obviously elite quarterbacks who just lost their top wide receivers, that were traded. And it's an interesting question, and I think I think they're actually both going to end the year very, very well. It might take, I think, like 6 games, but I think you are going to see Christian Watson come along pretty quickly. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to make him is going to make him come along pretty quickly. So I think sometime by the middle of the season, he's going to be like a really good contributor. That's just my opinion. I think it'll be the same thing for Sky Moore and Kansas City as well. But I really like the pick a lot. Oh, go ahead.
I struggle to trust the Western Michigan wide receivers, and I will not trust them until proven otherwise.
But you have faith in the North Dakota State University wide receivers.
Yeah, I'll trust them. I mean, hell, I'll trust about anybody besides Corey Davis. So he kind of.
Oh, I know. Tell me about it. We're on the same page. We're on the same page about Corey Davis. There was another guy that I liked a lot, and this was I had my eye on this guy here as a really good mid-round prospect on the offensive line, Sean Rhyan. And this is a guy I liked a lot. I knew this is a guy who was out of UCLA, plays, and this is something I didn't have in the notes. He's actually he's what you want on an offensive lineman. He actually plays angry. I like that a lot. He brings it every single game. Big dude, 6'5", 321 pounds. He started as a freshman and played left tackle in 2021, 20 and 21. So he's got a good experience there. He projects more to be a guard in the NFL. But I think what I like about this guy, I think, first of all, I think he's going to be an excellent guard in the NFL. I think he's going to be really good. And I don't know if he's going to be starting. I don't know what I believe that Green Bay has a good offensive line, but I have a feeling that this guy is eventually going to be starting guard on your team. But he's going to, I think, also give you that nice flexibility of some swing tackle action going there too, given his experience in college. And like I said, 3-year starter in college. The last 2 as a left tackle at UCLA, every single game the last 2 years. Really good size. He's actually the dude's a bit of a mauler in the run game, and he's known for his strong, powerful hands. So his weakness was kind of like his lateral movement, and that's why he's projected to be in terms of that's why he's projected to probably be a guard in the NFL. But I think just given experience in college that down the road, someone goes down when your starting tackles go down, that Sean Rhyan could probably step in, but at the very least, I think he's going to be a really starting good guard for you guys.
Yeah, I think I saw something that he's allowed 1 sack since the start of 2020.
Yeah.
And they play some good, well, how they play Calvin Thibodeau out there. I mean, not saying he was
Yeah.
lined up against him and stuff. I mean, they play some good talent too.
Listen, it's not the SEC, but
No.
it's a real conference.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I think, I don't know, like you said, I in my opinion, I think they're going to kick Elton Jenkins to right tackle. And I think so. If Sean Rhyan is the backup, left guard or right guard, but behind John Runyon, Royce Newman, but I think, like I said, I think he'll play a vital role. Obviously has some versatility, which is what the Packers do. I mean, we've talked about that before. Every guy, it seems like they draft now, they're not drafting a guy that plays one position on the offensive line.
It's all about the versatility pretty much everywhere
it's
these
just
days.
So important.
Anyway.
It's so important to have the positional versatility. So
yeah.
It's exciting. It's a very good pick.
Yeah, this draft was very deep in the offensive line. It wasn't as good as last year's. Last year's was an exceptional top-heavy offensive line draft class, but it also had depth as well. This one, it wasn't as top-heavy. Well, no, it was. It was top-heavy too. Like, it did have good offensive linemen in the early first round, but it had really good depth as well, just like last year. And it was, there were a lot of guys in the third round in this draft that I liked a lot, and Sean Rhyan was one of them. And so I thought it was a really good pick here. And speaking, hey, you guys need wide receiver help. What'd you get? You got a potential stud, in my opinion.
Yep.
In round 4, in Romeo Doubs. And I even love the name Doubs. I love that name.
Romeo
Doubs. And wide receiver out of Nevada, 6'2", 201 pounds, nice, solid size. The last 2 years combined, 2,100 yards, 20 touchdowns. He's also a punt return specialist. This guy's got that size-speed combo that, again, you can't teach. And what I read on him, which I wasn't familiar with, I knew a little bit about the guy, but reading up on him, apparently he plays with the alpha demeanor, which wide receivers, you like to see that. You like to see guys who play angry in the trenches, and you like to see wide receivers with that alpha demeanor. He's known to have strong hands, and he's really good at catching the ball in traffic. I like this guy as much, and I like Christian Watson a lot. I'm really high on him. It might take him some time to, I think, become like a really, really good wide receiver for the Packers, possibly. I wouldn't sleep on Doubs. Like, this guy, he could actually wind up being the better wide receiver in the draft class for this team. I think he's got the potential to actually down the road be a number 1. I do.
I think playing with Carson Strong in a pro style offense, I think is very, very helpful. That's why, like I said, Christian Watson, maybe not this year, but he'll learn and come on towards the end of the year, whatever. With Doubs or Doubs, whatever, he's been in that offense. And I think you guys talked about, like, with Carson Strong, like, he may have been slow.
I think we both like Carson Strong too.
Yeah, he was the only guy that, like, literally was checking checking plays at the line, like switching. It was his offense.
He's pro ready.
Yeah, and that helps with Romeo because, like I said, he's been in the offense like that. Not just some West Coast run and gun, whatever. It's a pro style offense is extremely helpful. He's quick, like I said, tough. I like his size. He just seems like a hard nosed dude that just loves football. And it'll be fun to see how things shake out in camp because we got Sammy Watkins now and he's a bum, so he probably won't play 2 quarters, but it's cool.
Yeah. I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure if I like him more than Corey Davis, to be honest with you. He's kind of like Corey Davis level for me. Maybe a little better. Man. But always, I mean, his ceiling was close. There was so much more. There was so much more that was expected.
I should have worn
makes it more disappointing.
My Bills Sammy Watkins jersey tonight.
Oh, do you have one?
Oh yeah. I was a big fan out of Clemson. I thought he was going to be the real deal.
Hey, listen, I think everyone did, man. Everyone did. It's just doesn't work out sometimes, but everyone did. But it's funny because I was kind of like, I really didn't pay too much attention to Doubs because this wide receiver class was so damn deep.
Yeah.
And, I was familiar with him, but I really didn't pay too much attention to him. But then afterwards, when I saw that he went to Green Bay, I'm like, damn. I'm like, that could be a really, really sneaky good pick. Really, really sneaky good pick. Really liked it a lot. And I thought the 4th round, man, I thought that was great value. I thought he'd be going at least in the 3rd round, maybe back into the 2nd round. And I thought 4th round, I thought that was awesome value. I really like it a lot. And I think Aaron Rodgers, man, is going to he's going to make. I'm not saying he's going to make everyone a star, but I don't know, man. I'd say there's a 50-50 chance at least one of these two wide receivers is going to turn into a star. Is Aaron Rodgers.
I talked about this before, and I with my buddy Abe.
Same thing with Mahomes.
The first 2 years, Devonte Adams was not good. I mean, I remember being at Lambeau for a Monday Night Football game against the Falcons, and we beat them. But it was a high-scoring game. It was snowing. It was awesome. We were walking out of there, and Abe looked at me. He goes,
I love that. That's football.
We were walking out of there, and he's like, "We got to cut Devonte Adams." He's like, "That dude's terrible." I mean, that's how. And he was. It was tough, and he obviously has worked on his game, and he's a phenomenal football player. I don't accredit everything to Aaron.
No, I know.
Aaron helps a lot.
Yeah.
And so I'm sorry, Rich. Derek Carr is not Aaron Rodgers. I don't care what Devonte says. It'll be a learning curve for both of them. I think Devonte will do just fine. But
I think he will too.
And like I said, Jordy Nelson was pretty goddamn good with Aaron Rodgers too. And when he left Green Bay, and like I said, they're not the same player. I'm not comparing them, but it's just the quarterback thing.
The guy too, Aaron Rodgers, he's kind of like Peyton Manning. He's like a general on the field too, and he's going to direct these guys. I'm not saying he's just going to make any player into a star, but I don't know, man. When you get two talented wide receivers within the first 4 rounds, I think there's a good chance one of them is going to hit with Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. Can you imagine being drafted and getting to know you're going to be playing with Aaron Rodgers? That's pretty damn awesome. Aaron Rodgers is going to throw me the ball. Holy cow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Been dreaming of that since you're a little kid.
I know. Holy cow. So, moving on. Another 4th round pick. And I was saying earlier, you guys are really like strengthening those trenches. You guys are known to have a good offensive line. You're building up the defense. You're bringing another offensive lineman. Zach Tom, really good value, in my opinion, in round 4 here out of Wake Forest. He was at 6'4", 304 pounds, so it's really not the ideal size for a tackle, actually. It's really nice. It's actually fine. It's good for a center. And it's funny because he actually started, I think it was his freshman year, he started as a center. He did very, very well at center, and then he moved to left tackle, and he was there for the past 2 years, and he was one of the best left tackles in the ACC. I'm actually surprised. Well, I guess I shouldn't be surprised that he fell to the 4th round, just being that this is overall a very, very deep draft class. So you're going to have talent that would normally go higher in normal draft classes that's slipping further and further, further and further down. This guy, I think, easily could have been like a back end of the 2nd round, 3rd round pick. Zach Tom, I really like this guy a lot. This is another guy for my team, my professional team, the Giants. Most people know their offensive line is stuck for a long time. So I'm always looking for value for where they could possibly get, offensive linemen. I had my eye on Zach Tom, like him a lot. The guy, what I love, and I love this in offensive lineman, he's a technician. So he's like a student of his position. The guy knows what to do. He's a highly intelligent player, good body control, excellent pass. He's excellent in pass protection. So he's not a mauler in the run game, but he's excellent in pass protection. He's known for his very high football IQ. And I think he was like one of the best student athletes in the conference, in the ACC. And this guy you're going to give me good pass protection. You can play center. You're going to play center. So maybe he's not going to be your starting center year 1, but this guy, in my opinion, hands down, is going to be your starting center one day. So and also more flexibility.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, I like Josh Myers. And they project, like, for some reason I don't really agree. They're projecting, Zach Tom to be our the backup right tackle, and I don't know. I don't know if that is the case. We'll see what happens. Like I said, there's a lot of time before now and then. And like I said, the thing I like to use, very, very smart. And that, to me, with the guy that can play all 3 positions is helpful. I read too that I think he had like a 92.1 PFF pass blocking grade, which was the highest. He was the number 1 graded pass blocker in the Power 5 conferences, which was like,
look at that, in 4th round.
Yeah. I know that's just numbers and stuff, but except PFF's got some good stuff. So, I'm excited to see, see how he does. And I think him and Sean Rhyan both were just phenomenal, good value. I think they're both going to be great players. And
that's what I mean. I'm just blown away that his PFF score was that high.
Yeah.
And listen, like I'm not maybe like, I think some people see it too much as a
Mm-mm.
Bible, like PFF is everything. I don't, but
No.
PFF is a valuable tool. And I'm
Very.
not, I don't ignore them at all. But I think that PFF grade, it matches the eye test, with Zach Tom.
Yes.
And so I was surprised that he fell to the fourth round. I thought it was a great pickup. I really liked it a lot. So you guys are getting physical, man. You're getting physical. It's not the old Green Bay Packers. This has become a physical
No.
team. And speaking of physical, round 5. You know what? I keep forgetting. Romeo, there's the I'm everyone. I'm new to. I only started using slides this year, just like over the past month or two. I've been forgetting to use the slides. So there's Romeo Doubs. That's what he looks like. He looks very handsome in his all black uniform. Zach Tom, there he is. Guy even looks highly intelligent too. Look at him. Look at that. Taking on two
Yeah.
guys. I love it. I love it.
No problem.
Then we got Kingsley Enagbare out of South Carolina. There are certain programs that I gravitate towards, that I'm kind of prejudiced in favor of in terms of, and that I think that produces talent that I like a lot. Penn State is one of them, and also some schools are known for, like, I like my offensive linemen out of Notre Dame, Wisconsin, Iowa, and Alabama too. Give me some wide receivers out of LSU and Alabama, and cornerback secondary out of LSU.
And Georgia.
And Georgia. South
SEC,
Carolina
really.
Gamecocks. Yeah, the South Carolina Gamecocks. It's funny because they it seems like they never really have a winning record anymore, but they
No.
produce some really damn good talent. And
Oh,
Kingsley
yeah.
Enagbare, this is a guy who actually early in the draft process, if you checked out his ranking and where he's projected to go back in January after the completion of the NCAA season, he was expected to go probably like back into the first round, second round. I saw a lot of that, at least second round on this guy, and he got him in the fifth round. And one of the reasons why I think he fell too is that there had been a lot of questions that came up about his how would I
Hip.
put it, like what his hip.
Yeah,
I'm
he had
sorry.
like really big time hip injury
Okay,
junior year and had surgery on it. But like I said, he obviously is
yeah.
fine. But was there some character issues that I
No,
breezed over?
not like not no, no, not serious character issues that I'm aware of, but it was kind of like, questions as to whether or not, like, he takes plays off, you know.
Oh, like a Jadeveon
Um,
Clowney thing. Is that like the Gamecock way?
Yeah, I guess so, maybe so. But there was, I remember hearing those questions, and I started seeing his name drop a lot. But it started really dropping to like fifth round territory. And I'm like, wow, maybe there's something else up there, like an injury that I'm not aware of, for him to drop that far. But you got a thumper here in the fifth round, and at this point, fifth round, you're not really thinking, hey, it's always nice to possibly get a starter in the fifth round, starter down the
No.
road. But you might have potentially gotten at least a really good guy who can mix in,
Oh yeah.
and who could be like a good, backup player and a good spot starter. And you got that in Kingsley Enagbare. And he's listed as a linebacker. This is a guy who's actually had some success at South Carolina in college, playing on the outside as well. As a pass rusher, that is, as a pass rusher. He's had some success doing that. 6'4", he's got really nice height and length, 258 pounds, pretty good, pretty darn good size. Pretty darn good size for a linebacker. He is long. This guy is known to be very strong. And when he hits hard. And like I
Yeah.
said in my yellow notes here, he's had some ability to get to the QB. So, and I think maybe that's something that could be developed because he's known to be a player that actually has the potential to get to the QB even more, if you want to use him in that type of role. So
I
fifth round, I thought this was really, I like the value here.
Yeah, I think he's a guy, definitely kind of a little bit of a project. He can definitely, set the edge, bend the corner, whatever you want to say. And he's going to learn from, Preston Smith, obviously, is the
Yeah.
starting, whether he's outside or edge, whatever, learn from him. There was a lot of questions about Rashawn Gary going for, from when we drafted him. He's
Yep.
obviously,
Right.
turned into a very good player.
Mhm.
Or, I guess just developed where we thought he would.
Mhm.
So I think that the coaching staff has been able to get guys on the right track, and I think I think he'll do well. Like I said, I think he's a big dude, and
Yeah.
he brings the wood, man, and
Yeah.
sometimes that's what it takes,
He looks.
especially in the cold, when it's the fourth quarter and somebody's just trying to run the ball down your throat and you got a guy that can stop him in the tracks. That hurts in the
You know
cold.
what? If you watch when you watch his game tape, he looks like an old school linebacker. He does. He's a big dude. He's
Yeah.
actually looks bigger than I think, 258 pounds sounds like. He looks bigger than that, I think. He looks like a linebacker. So
Yeah.
yeah, fifth round, man. I think this guy could wind up to being developing to being a possible starter down the road. But I think he's going to wind up being at least good depth for you guys. I really do.
Yes.
So I like it. Fifth round, I really like a lot. Now let's move on to your seventh round picks. You had four of them. And the first one I wasn't even familiar with. I really enjoyed reading up on this guy a lot. Tariq Carpenter. Really liked reading up about this guy. I wasn't even familiar with this guy at all. Safety out of Georgia Tech. And I saw these traits that you can't teach. 6'3", 230 pounds, popped off the charts to me. Got my interest real quick. 4-year starter at Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech's not one of the best college programs out there. They're not a joke either. They're a
No.
real program, and they produce a fair amount of NFL talent. Tariq Carpenter, 4-year starter. That's really damn impressive. Guy's got sideline to sideline range. He's known to be able to. He can cover tight ends. And it's funny because given his size, I was reading that he's scouting reports were that he's probably projected to probably play linebacker. I just put in my notes that I don't know. Maybe he can't. He's going to be. I do think he's got a hybrid in him.
Yep.
Where you can put him out there, confuse the offense, like as to where he's going to be playing, because he does have some coverage ability, and that. But he can also, I think he can also play, play in the box as well. To support the run game. So I was actually kind of surprised this guy was there in the seventh round. Like I said, I didn't really know anything about him until I was reading up on their draft picks. And he's known to be a very good special teams player as well. And he was a pro day star. Apparently, he was just like a super athlete in his pro day. So I was like, well, how the hell did this guy fall in the seventh round? And he's just got some really nice intangibles. And this is a guy I would be excited about.
Yeah. I think, if they want to do like some like 3 high safety look and things like that with guys that can, play in the box, that's what everybody wants, obviously, is, Jamal Adams, but Jamal Adams can't cover shit. He kind of sucks actually at
Yeah,
trying
he
to
can
cover the
blitz the
pass,
QB.
but yeah, but it's like, well, when he comes up here, we know what's happening because he can't do anything else. But
Yeah,
I think I think he can do. He'll be able to play both positions. Obviously, we're pretty well set at safety for this year.
yeah.
Darnell Savage has another year left, I believe, on his rookie deal. Adrian
Mm.
Amos, I think, is a question. I hope they pay him. I want to keep him around.
Yeah, good player.
But it's good depth. See, that's and like I said, we should. It doesn't matter what I was gonna say. Anyways, good depth, and I like the special teams help. I'm pumped to get Rich Bisaccia as a coach. I've been trying to get our previous special teams coach that lost us a lot of games fired since like week 2. They didn't listen to me like normal, but
Yeah, they never listen to me either, and they
no,
pay the price
yeah,
for it too.
exactly. But yeah, like I said, and another big guy, and has the speed to play safety, which is nice, but also,
Dude's
he can step
huge.
up, step him in the box. I think they said at the Senior Bowl, I think he was there, and big hit playing linebacker the whole time, and the coaches all loved him. Good dude. So I think he said I think it'll be an interesting project in the 7th round. So it'll be fun to see, where it
It's
takes
gonna
him.
it's gonna be fun. If I were
Yeah.
if I were a Packers fan, this is someone who I would definitely have a tickler on and have my
Oh
eye
yeah.
on, just kind of like I just see how he develops. Like I wouldn't necessarily get my hopes up seventh round pick, look at my hopes up too much, but I'd be intrigued and I want to see how it goes.
Yeah.
Um,
Exactly.
Next seventh round pick, big Jonathan Ford out of the
Big
U.
boy.
Yeah,
Big
big
boy.
boy, big boy. I like him a lot. There he is.
He's
There he
huge.
is. 6'5", 333 pounds. This guy screams defensive tackle. He comes out of the U. I love the U. It's one of my favorite college programs. The guy is strong, quick off the snap, flashes disruption. I think he projects to actually be just like kind of like a rotational guy. Probably like playing on, some, down the rope, just maybe, one or two, run plays, kind of like a run stuffer guy. But he does have some disruptability there. Or I don't know if that's a real word, but he does like I said, he flashes disruption. So, I think this guy's got, his ceiling is probably 7th round pick. We're talking here, some just rotational help on the defensive line. But he's a big dude. And I don't know, when you're that big and, you got to you're quick off the snap. Maybe it could even wind up being more than that.
But I think,
You
a
need
guy that
bodies. He's a big one.
exactly. And I think, a guy that big, it's not even really like a zero tech, I guess you'd say. He's a nose tackle. And probably not even a one, maybe one tech, I guess, if you want to move him over a little bit. In my opinion, pretty much like the dime defense or a nickel defense is pretty much your base defense anymore. With 4 down linemen, and it said it'd be fun to see, how much playing time he gets. TJ Slayton kind of, I don't even think I would say he flashed last year or anything. I mean, he made some plays here and there. But I think Kenny Clark is, him and Devonte Walker are obviously the main guys. But I think, Jonathan Ford can definitely, take a few plays off for a guy. Not make all the plays and stop everybody. I mean, he's at least going to take 2 guys to stop him, so, and that helps.
Yeah.
So
good luck going if you're a center. Good luck going against this guy.
Right.
It's going to be interesting to see the matchups. It really is. So just the size is intriguing. But Packers are getting physical, man. They're getting physical. All right, your third 7th round pick, Jonathan Ford, Rasheed Walker, offensive tackle out of Penn State. I mentioned this earlier. There's certain programs that I like a lot. That I like the talent. Penn State is one of those programs. Here's another player, another offensive line player that you guys got that I was very familiar with, and I was surprised that he was there in the 7th round. I don't think he was ever going to project to be a starter, but I always thought he could project to be a really darn good swing tackle with starter potential. Depending upon, pretty much on himself, but also the coaching, the team that he goes to, how good the coaches are. But I think this guy's got his upside, his potential starter. And 6'6", 313 pounds. I like the size for a tackle. He was a 3-year starter at left tackle at Penn State. That's a premier program. And here he is, 3-year starter at left tackle. Really darn impressive. He stands up. Really, he was, I think, better in the run game. He's very good with physical competition. He stands up well to the power and the bull rush. Really good, strong hands, quick hands as well. Probably, scouting report is he'll probably be a guard in the NFL. And who knows? Maybe down the road, maybe a starter at guard. But I think myself, I'm like, this guy. He performed at a pretty high level at Penn State. Not the best pass protector, but he wasn't horrible either. Not the best pass protector, but the guy was a mauler in the run game. He's really, really good in the run game. And I thought for 7th round, I'm like, damn, I thought that was great values. I thought you guys just cleaned up on the offensive line in this draft. You're just getting, just good potential, whether it's starter or depth. I thought you got really good value.
I think last year showed more than anything, how important that offensive line depth is. I don't think there's another spot on. Well, sorry, I take that back. There's 2 spots on the field I want depth. It is offensive line and cornerback.
Oh God,
It's evident when you have a guy. Like we didn't even take. Well, we got undrafted free agent, but when your starter's out at a cornerback position, it is very obvious. You got a guy out there to try and turn his head around. It looks like he's a damn freight train turning his head around. Like it's that slow. You know what I mean? Just the instincts that are not there. And it's the same thing with offensive linemen. We had guys. Bakhtiari was hurt pretty much all year last year. Billy Turner stepped up, played better than I thought he ever would. I was very hard on him the year before when he did not do well. And he played very, very well. Elton Jenkins, obviously my favorite player on the Packers, can play wherever too, like really we do with the rest of them. And, I think having guys like this, it's so important. Everybody wants the flashy new toys with the receivers and running backs, but God, you can find a running back. You can find somebody to catch football.
It's like more and more. It's like you can more and more find a wide receiver too.
Yeah,
but exactly. I mean, hey man, as a Giants fan, Jesus, it's like when it comes to offensive line, we could never draft enough, at this point.
I don't think you can. And I still, I remember was the 3rd preseason game against the Texans. Yost Nijman is just getting his ass beat by 3rd stringers. I'm like, why did we not cut this guy? And then halfway through the season, he's still there and he played so well, because we had a bunch of injuries on the offensive line, and
Yeah,
like I said, you can't have enough depth on the offensive line. It's
yeah,
not
but you're right.
something that just you pick
O
guys up
line,
off the street.
O-line and secondary is just it's a must. It's a must.
Yeah.
In today's day, today's game, it's just an absolute must. But you look at these offensive linemen, man. I like it. Sean Rhyan, just to recap real quick. Sean Rhyan, starting tackle in college for a long time, projected to be a guard. Then you got Zach Tom, starting tackle, left tackle for a long time. Both these guys were left tackles, in college, starting for a long time. Projected to possibly be center, and he did play center, I think, his first year in college, as a matter of fact. And but point being that you've got flexibility here, and then you get another multi-year starter at a major program in the 7th round, 3-year starter at left tackle. And I might be wrong about that. He might have been a 2-year starter at left tackle, and maybe his first year he was like a guard or something like that. But 3-year starter at Penn State, last 2 years at least left tackle. And so you're looking at really good flexibility here with some serious
He started
potential.
32 games at left tackle.
Okay, so you're looking at definitely 2 seasons.
Yeah,
and maybe a little more. Okay, yep, yeah. Gotcha. Okay, but I think he did start. I think he did start. Well, he did start. I think his first year as a maybe at guard, and then he transitioned over to left tackle.
Yeah.
And then the last pick, and I did get the slide in. There we go.
Oh, got it.
Samori Toure, I believe is how it's pronounced. Wide receiver out of Nebraska. Now, a program that is not known for its passing game. This dude is 6'1", 191 pounds, nice size. He played in. I think he actually played in like at least two other teams in smaller conferences before transferring to Nebraska.
Montana was where he transferred from to Nebraska.
Okay, but I think there might have been another program before that.
Yeah,
it might have been a community college. Yeah, JUCO. I think it was. I think it was like something Valley, college, yeah. And then so he's been around, but he wound up in Nebraska. Last year is 1 year at Nebraska. Nice line here. 898 yards last year. And again, this is the thing about Nebraska. They're not really a pass-heavy offense. That's why Wan'Dale Robinson, who went in the 2nd round this draft class, transferred from Nebraska to Kentucky because he felt like he wasn't being used right. Nebraska is known for being a power run game offense.
He had five 100-yard receiving games this year.
Yes, he did. And that average, look at that average, 19.5 yards per reception, 19.5 yards per reception. Really darn impressive. Very good kick returner. He can play inside and out. And he's apparently known to have just like a sharp cutter, and he can accelerate on a dime. So 7th round, I really like this a lot. I really do. So nice, man. So, any thoughts on Toure at all? Or
I should say I watched more Big Ten football, being is that the University of Illinois is like 2.5 hours away. But
yeah, I was gonna say you're not far. Yeah,
they are not good. I said I'm actually more of a Michigan fan, so that's really, it's a long way to go up there though.
Right.
I don't watch it near as much as I should. I just remember we always used to make the joke, what's the N on the Nebraska helmet stand for?
What's that?
Knowledge.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah. Well, good.
Everyone knows that knowledge starts with 2 N's.
Yeah, duh. So, I'm excited to see how it works out. I like, obviously, he's got some drive and dedication to, JUCO, to a, not necessarily an FBS school, but, a smaller school, and then make it to
Midwest
the Big Ten
Conference or something like that. Yeah.
And I think we'll see how he does. I think the biggest thing for any receiver with the Packers is be where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. And Aaron will get you the ball. That's it. If he can trust that you're going to be there,
exactly.
He throws you open. You don't, and that's all there is to it.
And if you're not getting there, I'm sure he's going to let them know about it too. So
yeah,
he'll
be on the practice squad with Curdy Benkert. So
yep, exactly. All right, man. Well, that wraps it up. And let me get rid of this over here. Nate, thank you, good sir, for joining me to review the Packers draft class again. Yet another draft class I'm really impressed with by this team. I like the way that they're building. I like that they're getting physical. I hope Aaron appreciates that, even though he's got some young wide receivers he's gonna have to try to help him develop. But I like the physicality that the front office and the coaching staff is adding to this team. I like it a lot. And I think it's necessary, man. I think it's necessary. And I think Aaron's going to appreciate the protection, the new additions to the offensive lines. He's got some really good guys, to develop there to work with. And everyone, before we go, real quick, there's like we keep adding people like every month now, like
Holy
members to
smokes.
Toilets and Titles. There's like probably 3 people or 4 people I have to add to the Twitter handles here. But everyone, if you could follow everyone here, the Twitter handles for most of my colleagues here at Toilets and Titles, that'd be great. There's like 3 new ones I have to add, but if you could follow these guys, we'd greatly appreciate it. And
One thing.
before we go, go ahead.
Oh, so I just wanted to say, Tuesday night, if whenever you're listening to the show, Tuesday night, June 21st, I don't know what time it'll be, probably 8 o'clock ish, my Central Time, because so I can get my kid put to bed. Ryan McDowell's coming on the main show Tuesday night, where we'll be talking Scott Fishbowl and everything about it, talking about a little Frankenstein, I think, as well. We are giving away an entry to the Scott Fishbowl. Basically, just any charitable thing, whether it's a donation to, I don't care what it is, anything.
Right. So show proof of a charitable donation, whatever it is.
Yeah, I don't care if you buy some guy on the street a sandwich. Just take a picture, you handing this guy the sandwich or something.
Yep.
I don't care. Send that to me. I'll count.
Could be a clothing donation, could be money donation, and food donation, absolutely. So that's awesome. So let's do the donation, and you get a chance to win that entry into the Scott Fishbowl League.
Correct.
SFB. Cool beans. Yeah. I love it. I love it.
Say it one time.
No, absolutely. I'm glad you did, man. And just before I go again, just a friendly reminder, please hit that like button, subscribe, hit that bell, give us that 5-star Apple review. Why, you may ask, because we deserve it. Damn it, we deserve it.
Hell yeah.
Anyway, guys, it's been a great night. Thanks so much for doing this to me. I really appreciate it, man.
I had a blast, Joe. It was fun.
Me too. And go Green Bay, except against the Giants.
Go Pack, go, and go Bolts, right? Is that who we're cheering for in the Stanley Cup Finals? Can you cheer for them?
Yeah, I'm rooting for the Bolts. I am.
Okay.
I'm rooting for that three-peat. I'm all cool with that.
Yeah, hell yeah.
All right, man. Take care. Have a good night.
You too.